back to my channel, or hello, hi, welcome if you're new. I'm gonna just really be ranting to you guys, just telling you guys what's been going on with my life. I don't know about y'all, but lately I just been feeling just like low-key like depressed for real. Like not like so depressed, but just these like waves of sadness and just getting really irritated. I'm actually tell you, like an hour before recording this clip, I was about to go back into sim. I was so tempted to go back into it. This has been happening to me for 2 days, and I feel like right now in my life it really is a time where I am just, you know, growing with God. So I graduated high school like a lot of months ago. Now I'm just kind of in this stage in my life where I'm just like working and just preparing to go to college. I literally have like 3 friends, and it makes me sad because like I feel like definitely graduating high school, we're not as close as we used to be, and that makes me sad. And I remember this one time I was talking about that with my sister, and she was just telling me like, you know, it's not that like, you know, we want to fall off, but like everyone really is doing their own thing. After graduating high school, like, I mean, there are some times where I get like real sad, but I be trying to just be thinking, you know, it's not that bad, but I'm at a point where it is kind of bad because, and I said this in the last video, I literally talked to like my co-workers and the kids that I mentor, and I'm not gonna hold you guys, like there's no entertainment going in my life right now. It's giving I'm bored, it's giving something needs to shake, and I know something's about to shake. I am so close to finally being where, you know, I've been wanting to be for so long, and I know this is just like the enemy, but I feel like these past couple of days I just really been battling with like sadness and wanting to go back into sin. So I didn't end up doing what I wanted to do in that moment, but then after the moment kind of went past, like that feeling of like temptation, it's only really for a little bit. Like I didn't have this strong desire to go back into it, but boy did I want it to. Being a young Christian is really not for the weak. Like it's not easy for real, and I'm not trying to say that anything's easy because nothing's easy, but it's just the fact I just be lonely sometimes. This mood that I'm feeling right now, it's not a good feeling. I don't know what it is about when it's that second month of the year, but like this happened to me like last year too. Like February's this month for me where I always go into the self-discovery mode, gaining that confidence and that self-love. Like that's kind of where I'm at right now. As y'all can see, I took out my braids, trying to just love my natural hair and not being in braids. And I've been having these negative thoughts about myself and just kind of comparing my, like, it's just so bad right now. Like, I don't like this for me. I think making this video is gonna be really good for me because sometimes I just be going through things and I'd be like, is other people really going through what I'm going through? Like, sometimes I feel really, really alone. So I like being a Christian that we really aren't alone, and there's a whole community out there, and it seems like we're alone because like it seems like there's nobody here relating to us, like next to us. But I'm telling you guys, if y'all feel like this is just a down bad season, I feel the same way. I just feel like I'm not prospering right now. The thing about being a Christian is like, we know as believers and stuff, and you know, when we trust in God, all of this that's happened to us really is going to pass. God is still going to remain faithful in what he said unto us. Like that's what I just need to remember. I'm gonna admit, like I still struggle with wanting to go back into familiar sins, and it really sucks for me. It honestly really is a process for real. And I mean like sins because we sin every day, but I mean like sins that had us in bondage. You could think of those on top of your head. There's a couple sins that had me in bondage. So I definitely seen now, you know, I don't do this anymore like I used to. So it really does take a process. And I think I have to really stop being hard on myself. I just for these past couple of days have just been so hard on myself. There's like some times where I just get like really bored. Sometimes I'm just like, you know, if only I could just have some attention. Sometimes I just be getting like really bored. And that's not really good because like that's something that I was really familiar with before and used to doing, and just, you know, I don't want to go back down that road. Yo, the boredom, I'm telling you, look, don't fall for that, John. Most of the things I've done in boredom never ended up good. Yeah, but I definitely understand that feeling of, you know, really wanting to do something so bad. Again, I'm really proud of myself. I really just thank God because that feeling of conviction, that feeling of conviction is so real. Like, you really just be feeling like, whoa, this is really not something I should be doing. I had went to work with my hair out, and a lot of the kids were just asking me, like, what happened to my hair? It really just made me feel so ugly about myself. But it's not because of, like, they were asking. Like, kids will be kids, they'll ask anything. But it was the fact that, like, I didn't have that confidence in myself. It really taught me that I need to get my confidence from the Lord. I just want to continue to grow. Some days are just, like, really harder than others. And I cried earlier today, and I cried yesterday. Things won't always be like this, but things are kind of like this right now. I just feel like I'm not in my prime. And, you know, I feel like for Christians, there are gonna be times like this, but it's not that, like, you know, we're not gonna prosper, and, like, you know, we're in this season of what God is about to bless us with. And, like, I feel like I've been waiting for it forever, even though it hasn't even really been that long. I don't know why that look he just hit. Like, I have to take a pause for a moment. If you are in a season where it doesn't feel like you're growing and, you know, you're suffering, like, this really is a good thing. And we really do have to keep going. Like, hold on, y'all. Okay, I did have some encouraging words to say to you guys. This really made me think about the Israelites when God delivered them out of Egypt. Like, yo, that story literally just popped up, like, right in my spirit. And I think I'm gonna read it for you guys. Because what God really has for us is really common. Like, especially if you are in that place where, like, God has promised you something and you kind of just been like, okay, when is it coming? When is it coming? Like, it's about to happen. Like, oh my gosh, God is really so good. I haven't even really been like this. This has only been a couple of days. But see, that's how the enemy will make it seem. Like, it reminds me of the Israelites when God delivered them. And, you know, they was about to be in the promised land, but they kept complaining, so it took even longer. They never even received the promised land. They literally never even entered in it. God had allowed that whole generation to die out, and their children actually is the one that received it when they got older. So that is what happened when they complained. They never even got what they were supposed to get. Like, what God is about to have for me is about to happen. I just been saying, like, I'm in this place where I know, like, I just need to keep growing more, and he's just preparing me what he has for me, basically. He's just preparing me. He's preparing me. He's preparing you. And you know what? I am happy I recorded, because I was just like, I don't have nothing to say. I have nothing motivating, encouraging. But sometimes we need videos like this. We need real videos. All this happening is preparing me for what God is about to bring for me. And you know what verse came up on my phone today from the Bible app? You know, if you're suffering for Christ's sake, rejoice in it. I gotta keep going. You gotta keep going. I gotta keep going. We gonna keep going. Because, you know, what the devil will do, he knows, like, what we're doing for the kingdom of God is good. Like, I could easily go back into a sin if I want to. Like, that's how easy access is for me. But also, I have to be strong, you know? I have to resist the temptation to actually do it. That's what happened to me tonight. Like, I was so easily accessed. Like, I had everything right there in front of me. But then I just felt like this conviction, like, Ava, do we really want to do this? Like, it's really just this conviction. He really will always give you a way out. You know, there's going to be times we really don't understand what God is doing. But, like, then it just be revealed to us later. And it's always going to make sense. Sometimes that's a little frustrating. I'm not going to hold you. That's a little frustrating sometimes. But, you know, if God told us every ideal plan that he had planned, we wouldn't even understand it in that moment that we want to know it. You know what I mean? So he has to take us through these moments for us to grow more in him. And I'm thinking about it, like, I'm not ready for what he has for me yet. This is in Exodus chapter 23, and it's titled Laws of Justice and Mercy. But even before, like, God says what he's about to do, there's so many things built up, like, and laws and, like, responsibility Like things that he just tells them to prepare them along the way. For example, the 10 commandments and just things that they're supposed to do and should not do. And that really made me think of also like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. God's angel to prepare the way. Exodus 23 verse 20. See, I am sending an angel ahead of you to guard you along the way and to bring you to the place I have prepared. Pay attention to him and listen to what he says. Do not rebel against him. He will not forgive your rebellion, since my name is in him. If you listen carefully to what he says and do all that I say, I will be an enemy to your enemies and will oppose those who oppose you. My angel will go ahead of you and bring you into the land of the Amorites, Hittites, Perizzites, Canaanites, Hivites, and Jebusites, and I will wipe them out. Do not bow down before their gods or worship them or follow their practices. You must demolish them and break their sacred stones to pieces. Worship the Lord your God, and his blessing will be on your food and water. I will take away sickness from among you, and none will miscarry or be barren in your land. I will give you a full lifespan. Moses was on Mount Sinai, meeting with the Lord, conversating it up. And God was giving him these instructions to tell the people, all that great stuff. Moses was up there what it seemed like a long time for the people, but see, God's time, there is no time with him. This is chapter 32, the golden calf. It says, when the people saw that Moses was so long in coming down from the mountain, they gathered around Aaron and said, come, make us gods with a lowercase g, who will go before us. As for this fellow Moses who brought us up out of Egypt, we don't know what has happened to him. That's how I feel right now in this moment. Like, it's low-key taking type long, even though it's not really long, like, it's not long, but it's taking long for me. Like, I'm not trying to be patient, so let me go back to familiar sins in my time of waiting. Bro, see, the crazy thing is, patience is really something that I'm gonna work on and that God's gonna be working on with me this year. Yes, it's so easy to just go back into sin. It is so better to just keep waiting. And the people didn't want to wait, even though God already has shown himself. Like, God was doing some great things, like beyond great things. And they was saying, this man is taking too long, so let us go and make man-made gods and worship them, because we don't know what happened to him. Doesn't that sound familiar? Like, it feels like for us Christians, we don't know where God is at, but do we ever sit and think like, okay, maybe this is going on for a reason why he has me in this period of like waiting? You know what I mean? Aaron's was like, bro, take off your gold earrings. And they literally made themselves gods. Remember how they was waiting, Moses was taking too long. Now they had made themselves gods out of gold earrings and stuff. But it says in chapter 23, God is like, pay attention to the angel and listen to what he says. Do not rebel against him. He will not forgive your rebellion, since my name is in him. Then it says, oh my gosh, why is this just hitting to me? Oh my god, this literally just hitting to me. So they was waiting, right? Y'all, I have to keep saying it because like it's just hitting. I wanted to hit for y'all too. So remember, they was waiting, right? But in chapter 23, God had already said, look, do not bow down before their gods or worship them or follow their practices. You must demolish them and break their sacred stones to pieces. Worship the Lord your God, and his blessing will be on your food and water. I will take away sicknesses from among you, and none will miscarry or be barren in your land. I will give you a full lifespan. This is why we have to keep going. I know the waiting period seems long. Trust me, I know, because I've been waiting. There's a reason why we're waiting. There's a reason why God tells us not to do things. It's not really hitting to me until like at this exact moment, because it really does make a lot of sense. Like, he really does say things for our good. Sin separates us from God. Like, he says this for our good. We really do have to just continue to keep going, because where God is taking us will be worth waiting for. This honestly, like, encouragement, like I'm telling y'all, I was just like in my bag for real, just like not even understanding like, why am I so sad out of nowhere? But I'm going to rejoice in this place where God has me, because yes, it's not what it looks like. Faith is not like what we see, but it's the things that we don't see. Yes, right in front of me things look so down bad. When is it gonna be my turn? But see, that's why it says in Joshua chapter 5 verse 5, it says, those who left Egypt had been circumcised, but none of those born after the Exodus during the years in the wilderness had been circumcised. Verse 6, the Israelites had traveled in the wilderness for 40 years until all the men who were old enough to fight in battle when they left Egypt had died. For they had disobeyed the Lord, and the Lord vowed he would not let them enter the land he had sworn to give us, a land flowing with milk and honey. A word that, spoke was, see, the Lord, he sworn he was going to give them it, but after they had disobeyed him, they literally ruined their own blessing. We could really stop our own blessings from just not wanting to keep being patient. What we're doing for the kingdom of God, it's not all for nothing. And I don't want to sit here and complain. I was at first, not really like complaining, but just sad. But I'm gonna have joy and rejoice because God is not done with us, and he keeps his promises. The Bible literally says how faithful God is. This honestly just made me just rely on him, and we really do have to rebuke them thoughts that the enemy is saying to us, because they are just lies, and we really have to have that joy, because things aren't what it looks like. Things aren't what they seem. God is still going to come through for us, but also we have to come through as well. We have to show up to the battle, and we have to do some works too, Yeah, it's all going to be worth it in the end. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it just really lifted you up. Just keep holding on to God's hand. He's not done with you. He hasn't let go, but he's just really preparing us for what he's about to bring for us. God bless you all. Please stay safe. What God has for you is about to happen. Love you guys so much, and God loves you so much more, and bye.